Hello, friends and family, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are still in our new series, Mental Health Is. But today, my brothers and sisters, we're going to be talking about social determinants of mental health. Another way of putting that are social threats to mental health. Yeah, if you're interested, stay tuned. And if you're ready, my brothers and sisters, let's get into it. Welcome back to Choosing to Live Now. My name is Taneshia, and I want to thank you so much for joining our conversation today. I hope each of you are doing well. Okay, my brothers and sisters, for today, the day that this will be airing, it is the middle of the week, and let's do a check-in. How you doing? Are you well? Are you taking care of yourself? Yeah. What success have you had? Yeah. What things do you want to do a little bit differently next time? Yeah. Listen, my brothers and sisters, wherever you find yourself on this week, know that you're not alone. I am here with you. Our community is with you. And let me tell you, it can be rough out here in these streets. Listen, okay? We've already talked about the reality that the struggle is real. But look, just know, if you have had a rough time or if you have had triumph, know that whatever state that you're in, there's always a lesson that can be learned, and there is always an opportunity for it to be better next time. Okay, now let's get into our content. So, my brothers and sisters, we are in this series called Mental Health Is, and we have been beginning every one of our videos with the World Health Organization's definition of what mental health is. Did y'all remember what it is yet? Okay, I'm gonna give you a second. What is mental health? Good job. You are correct. Mental health is, my brothers and sisters, the ability to think. Mental health is the ability to have awareness of what we're thinking. Oh, yes. Mental health is the ability to have control over our own behaviors. And mental health is the ability to deal with normal life stressors in a healthy, adaptive way. Yeah, that is what mental health is. But today, my brothers and sisters, we're going to talk about social determinants or threats to our mental health. Now, I know you might be looking at social threats, and the first thing that comes to mind is, I got to stay out of a toxic environment. I can't deal with toxic people. And I know we've talked about that for weeks, and you are absolutely right. But my brothers and sisters, when we're dealing with our social determinants of mental health, we're taken into another state of mind that goes beyond our immediate family. When we're thinking about social determinants of mental health, we are talking about not just our friends, not just our family, not just our colleagues, but we are thinking about how to navigate the social norms of the world around us in order for us to have success in life. What you saying, Taneshia? I'm asking you a question, my brothers and sisters. What is your social norm? Yeah. Do you even know what a social norm is? I know, I just assumed really quickly that you knew. Let me say it in layman's terms. A social norm is the standards in an environment for which we live in. These standards could go far and beyond basic things like being courteous to one another when we see each other, by saying hello to a stranger or holding the door for someone when we're walking into a building. Social norms also dictate what things are considered by the general population as acceptable and what things are not. Oh man. What you saying, Taneshia? What I am saying is, similar to environmental threats that we talked about in our last conversation, social norms get into the idea that there are standards within our community that could have been set by higher leadership, such as presidents or leaders or rulers of where we live. But also, social norms can be set by our religion. Yeah. Yup. What you saying, Taneshia? What I'm saying is there are some communities around the world that there's social norms in society. Again, going back to similar to what we talked about in our last conversation, they set what is normal that society does. So it could be that our religion or our religious beliefs in our country tells us what a normal family looks like. And then if there is a norm, that norm also indicates what is abnormal. So if you're found in that environment doing opposite of what the norms are, you are now on the outset socially of your environment. Our country's religion or religious affiliations could impact the normal activities that an individual can do on a daily basis. Yeah. Beyond the government. So that could mean that, for example, if I am in an Islamic country, I am going to honor and reverence Ramadan. It is a sacred time of fasting and consecration. If I am Christian, I'm going to honor Easter in a very specific way because it is sacred and it is holy. And whatever your affiliations may be in those environments, the social norm is we do this at this time. And because it is the norm in this environment, everyone who is a part of the environment follows the standard of that environment. That's a social norm, my brother and my sister. Now, why social norms are important is because they set the guide to what is acceptable in our society in other ways, including, is it okay to steal or not? Yeah. Believe it or not, my brothers and sisters, every place does not have to have a bunch of rules or laws associated with stealing. In their social norm, which again could be related to their religion or their belief system of spirituality, that tells them that stealing is going to give bad karma. And because we don't want to get bad karma back, we don't steal here. So you can literally leave your doors open in certain communities because these social norms set the environment for where you are. Yeah. Social norms tell us how to dress. Social norms tell us what is acceptable to eat. Is there a specific food that is against our social custom? Is there a specific way that we need to eat that is based on our culture? My brothers and sisters, all of these things are social norms that are critical and can impact mental health. And you might be saying, Taneshia, what do you mean by that? If the social norms in your community change drastically because there is an environmental change. Oh gosh, Taneshia, are you saying environment and social are interactive? Absolutely they are. Yeah. If there's a change in the environment, it may cause a change to social norms. So what that means is that now the things that I'm used to as being normal for me are no longer normal anymore. And now I have to quickly adjust, which causes me to have some level of stress. Depending on how severe these changes are, it could be traumatizing to me. Yeah. And if I have a biological predisposition to have anxiety because of something I experienced in my fetal maturation environment, i.e. my mother's womb, or I am genetically predispositioned to be a bit more anxious, when this stress comes into my life, I am that much more stressed. Yeah. And now my mental health that was good is now on the decline. Oh gosh, my brothers and my sisters, are you with me today? Yeah. Social norms are in every part of our life. They are integrated in the way that we worship, in the way that we practice our jobs, in the way that we handle our family. Social norms are in our lives. Can I give you an example of one that many of us, particularly if you're watching from here from the United States, our social norm in our country is that on November, the end of November, whatever day it is, because it changes every year, we have Thanksgiving, my brothers and my sisters. It is known to be a time where families gather together and spend time with each other and spend that time thanking God or being thankful of what they have overcome over the last years. That's the real sweet, cute answer for it. But my brothers and sisters, what it really ends up being is a smorgasbord of food. We sit around, we eat the food, we prepare the food. Sometimes we have competitions with our family members as it relates to who makes what better. And a lot of times, in some of our families, remember I'm from the South, we would start eating our Thanksgiving dinner at 12 noon. And by 6 o'clock, when the rest of my friends would have their dinner, we would have eaten 2 or 3 more times and had dessert by 6 o'clock. At the end of the day, it is a way that families show their love using food as a medium of exchange. But when we have been during this global health dilemma that we've had, many of us have not properly connected with our family in the way that we used to. So where our events might have 25, 30 people in them, our last couple years have had maybe 5, if that. And we feel so isolated and alone as a people. You have heard individuals say that the holidays have just not felt the same anymore. Now take that and add 100% to it for an individual who has already been traumatized in another way. There's another change that they've had to go through, right? Now, their Thanksgiving has been derailed for multiple years. So their mental health begins to spike on the decline. Why? Because yet another change has occurred over and over again that they cannot control, which is turning from being inconvenient to being traumatizing to them. Add to that people die over and over again that they did not expect. And now we have the ingredients for a mental health crisis, my brothers and sisters. And it was all because of a social norm. Yeah. Are you with me? Are you understanding? And you might be saying, Taneshia, why is this even important? I'm going to tell you why. I'm so glad you asked. And remember, I am not projecting at you. I am speaking to you and I. Because my brothers and my sisters, it's been rough for me too. The reason why social norms are so important to know about and why we're taking this time to walk through it is because mental health is not in a vacuum. That term means it doesn't exist mutually exclusive to itself. There are so many variables that make up mental health that we do not think about. By the time we think about mental health, we have been attacked in so many different ways that it is almost irreparable at times by the time we go to get help. We should not be at the point that we're at generalized anxiety disorder and taking medication before we get help. Our body gives us signals, my brothers and sisters, early on, and I want you to know these determinants of mental health because they can trigger where your health is going as things change. And if you can know early, my brothers and my sisters, you can get the help you need. Yeah, it's really what it's all about. Yep. I want us to get the help that we need so that you can be aware of these social norms that are in our life that can change things. And you know what's crazy, my brothers and sisters, is you and I, when we think about social norms, we keep it very centralized to our little circle or our toxic relationships or whatever is going with us that is centralized at our job. But social norms are embedded in everything that we do. Imagine individuals who live their lives opposite of a social norm. If I'm in a social norm that says that my ethnic or racial group is not the most pristine or the most preferred in whatever area I live in, I am now at risk of constant threat. So I live in a state of anxiety because I don't know when I'm going to be bullied or triggered or targeted or even killed. And we've seen that in the United States. But it happens all around the world. Please understand that the construct of racism and separatism is not just in the U.S. My gosh, it's all around the world. So many different people who might be watching us might be from caste systems where you are from a system that you can only be born into wealth. And after that, you're just at the bottom. You're automatically on a specific tier and trajectory. And if the world around you is opposite than what you are in that environment, you live in a constant state of fear. Social norm. Yeah. I know I'm revved up. You hear me? I'm pumped. Sometimes I'm calm with you, but today I'm pumped. Why? Because I feel it in my heart, and I want you to know all of this good information so that you can take it and learn how to be free. Yeah. Or at least identify what might be happening for you. Now, when we're dealing with social norms, it's going to be similar strategies that I gave you when we talked about managing toxic people. The first thing you need to do when we're dealing with trying to have strategies on navigating social norms that can impact our mental health is to make sure that we get ourselves into a safe space. What you mean, Taneshia? Listen, my brothers and sisters. Social norms in the West talk a lot about freedom of speech. Social norms in the West talk a lot about you have agency over your life and you can make choices. Everywhere in the world does not agree with that sentiment. And what I need to do is to help my brothers and sisters around the world to understand this, that you have to take care of yourself and make sure that you are safe. I will never disarm any of you to take on a strategy that could cause you to lose your life because you listen to it. Take care of yourself. Number one strategy. Whatever that means. If there's a compliance that you have to make in your social environment in order to live, do whatever it is that you have to do. Yeah. My second social norm, my brothers and sisters, is I would recommend prayer. I know everybody's not religious and everybody don't believe in it, but listen, I want to be honest with you. On this platform, I speak in general terms. But if you want to know my strategy, honey, I'm going to tell you, I would ask you to pray. And if you don't know what prayer is, YouTube it. There are plenty of people praying. I would find, because why? I pray for direction, my brothers and sisters. And when I pray, God answers me. So I would recommend you to do the same. Number 3. If prayer is not your gig, my suggestion would be, it would begin with the question, and here it is. Do you have the ability to get out of that environment that does not allow you to be safe? Because if your answer is yes to that, I would say begin the journey of starting to find a place to be that is safe while maintaining your safety. Because somebody watching this could be in an abusive relationship, could be in a toxic environment that is not easy to jump out of. And my brothers and sisters, know that my heart is with you right now. My prayers are with you, even as I'm talking to you right now, that you be protected and you be safe. But plan your exit, or create rather your exit plan from that environment. Yes. Because my brothers and sisters, while I respect social norms in their fullness of their glory, the reality is that they could be toxic and they could be damaging. If you cannot leave the environment, I need you to find time where you can be by yourself to remind yourself of who you are. If that means you get up in the morning and you whisper affirmations to yourself of who you are. If you have the safety to write down affirmations. And if you don't know them, my brothers and sisters, look them up. And if you're interested in me giving you some, I got plenty. Just let me know. Put it in the comment box if you're interested in some affirmations. Speak those over yourself over and over again. Because what that does is you're rehearsing the truth and you're getting rid of every negative narrative that your social norm suggests about you. Your social norm could be like, you're not loved because you're like this. You're not cared about. You're not, you don't have any friends. You'll never make it in this environment. None of it's true. Social norms are there, but there are always exceptions to the rule in every society. So if you speak to yourself with the truth of who you are, now listen, you know what I'm going to say. I use the word of God, which I call the Bible. Yeah, I find things that it says about me. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. You are blessed in the city. You are blessed in the field. You are blessed going. You are blessed coming. The fruit of your womb is blessed. In every place that the sole of your feet will tread is blessed. Yes, honey. That is an affirmation that I use for myself. You don't have to be religious to use it. But if it resonates with you, you can have it. That's for free. Find what matters to you, though. Yes, speak those things over yourself, because if you can change your mind in these toxic environments, you can make sure that what's in these social norms, in these social environments, does not get inside of you. You can say, I don't fit in with them, but I know that I'm great on the inside. Yep. I am the exception to the rule. That's a good affirmation. I am more than a conqueror. I am not my past. I am not the mistakes I made. I am not my parents. Yep. I will not fail. I will not die in poverty. I am prosperous. I am intelligent. Tell yourself the truth. Even if it's hard for you to believe it, say the opposite of how you feel that's negative over your life and watch how your mind changes. That's my top strategy, other than prayer. Yeah. And finally, my brothers and sisters, in any environment that you are in, where the social norms do not match your own beliefs or norms in that environment, that you have to follow them, find people that are like-minded, that can encourage you in the journey. Yep. And you might be saying, Taneshia, I've been with you for the last 90 days, and everything that you say seems to be quite similar, because at the end of the day, there's no new rule book. And if I can be real transparent with you, my brothers and sisters, I'm speaking to you from my heart. This is my heart. This is my personal ideas based on what I've trained to know and learn. But can I give you a little secret? Every word that I'm saying to you is documented in research as a strategy that therapists and psychologists give to people in therapy. Yes, I can drop names for you of people who do these very strategies. Positive self-talk is cognitive behavioral therapy. Did y'all know that? Yeah. Resonating that there's a theory that and I can't remember the name of the theory actually because I'm talking to you about it, and I said I could give you the theory. As I keep talking, maybe it'll come, but it's a theory that talks about, there's a part of the theory that's acceptance, where you process all your grief and your loss and the situations that you're experiencing in a moment, but then you have acceptance. It might be motivational interviewing. Let me look it up. I want to be accurate. Yes, look at your girl. Her mind is right. Yes, acceptance is a part of the journey. That as a practitioner, I can't even tell you that your life is going to change because of everything that I've helped you to go through. But what I can do is help you to come to a place of acceptance. That in spite of things not changing, you can change your mind. The circumstance might not be different. Now, do you see the purpose of this community? Because my brothers and sisters, in the days to come, there will be tons of things that we're going to experience that we did not plan for. And it is so important that we are able to change our mind and the circumstance and get with like-minded people. That's what my last strategy was. Getting with like-minded people who can help us to navigate the journey of acceptance and going through things. You are not alone. And we are so often screwed up because we feel like we're alone. I'll give you another thing as my final example of a social norm. My brothers and sisters, one of the biggest social norms that we have in our life around the world is that we as human beings need to be together. I feel like there's got to be literature that's also a biological need of ours and not just a social need. But whatever the case may be, social norms is that we belong together. We are not designed to be all alone all the time. I don't care how introverted you are. I am introverted. I know. I am animated like this in person, but I'm animated in small groups. I don't like the large group. I'm not wildly introverted where, I lose all the energy when I'm around people. But if I'm with a group long enough, you'll notice I dip off to the side. It's just my personality, right? But even in me being like that, and people who are extremely introverted that like to be alone and get their energy alone, they need people too. My brothers and my sisters. Yeah. And what the quarantine period taught us was that we didn't like being alone as much as we thought we did. Huh? Social norm. And so many people not being able to get together in the small groups that they like or big groups that they prefer started having mental health declines because they were stuck in the house having to deal with things they didn't deal with. Maybe they didn't deal with loss. Maybe they didn't deal with grief. Maybe they were stuck in the house with a toxic person or in a relationship with somebody that they finally realized, I don't like you anyway. Yeah. These norms started to dictate their mental health and the strength and health of their relationships. Now do you see the importance of social norms? Yeah, my brothers and sisters. So I want to let you know today that really, I want to encourage you rather, evaluate your social norms. Yeah. Cut the things that you can cut. Keep the things that you need. Yeah. And learn to accept the things you cannot change. But whatever you do, even if the environment does not change your mind. All right? Remember, you are not alone. I am here with you. This is a community and a safe space. We're going to get through this difficult time together if we do not give up. If you like the content on this channel, please like, please comment, please share, and subscribe. All right, my brothers and sisters, until next time. Blessings to you today, my friends.